everyone. Today we're assembling the new multi-sheet awning from Budget Awnings. This particular sheet you'll see here is the 80 by 150. It's a dark tinted sheet. It has a dark bracket and there's an aluminium bracket. So we'll just open the box up and see what's in there. Alright, well we've just opened the box and taken out all the contents. As you can see, we've got two carbonate sheets here. They're clearly labelled with the upside, so that's how they would be assembled. We've got three brackets here which hold the sheets together. We've got some rubber strips which go on the edge of the polycarbonate to protect the strips from getting scratched, bolts and so on. And we have the two brackets here packaged in. We'll pull them out, have a look, make sure they're the right colour and they're not damaged. They look pretty good for now. And that's our pieces, and you'll have the instructions in here. Alright, well now that we've got all the things out of the box and we've made sure we've got all the right pieces and they're not damaged, we'll start by opening up the little aluminium joiners here, because these are basically the backbone of the whole structure. They hold the whole thing together. So these are our three strips. This one here is the central strip. It holds the two sheets together straight down the middle. This here is the front bullnose edge. It'll lock in at the front and make it all look safe and pretty. And this here is the back, which locks into the brackets and holds the sheet at the back edge. First thing we'll do is slide the two sheets out next to each other. Decide which is going to be our front and which is going to be our back. We'll put this to the back, this to the front, and this one here to the middle. And then we just take our brackets and put them to one side each. One over there, and we'll put another one over this side. And this here is the basic layout of the entire awning. Okay, now we've just laid them down in the right positions. We've identified that's the edge there of the front strip. We want to have the flat edge to the top and the nice curved edge to the bottom. On the center one, we do the same thing. We put the wider edge to the top. And at the back piece, we put the groove here so the thing can slot in, and the channel there goes to the bottom. Okay, now we've taken all of our little rubber strips out of our plastic bag, and we should have 8 strips. There'll be 4 long ones for the front and rear edges of the polycarbonate, and 2 shorter ones, or 4 shorter ones, for each of the polycarbonate left and right edges. These are basically designed to go on the edges here once you pull the plastic back, and then they will slot into the grooves here. They'll stop any vibrations, they'll weatherproof the awning and absorb any noises from hitting the awning. At the back here we have a weather strip which goes on the back of edge of this strip here. It's an optional extra. It comes with double-sided tape. We prefer to use silicone on the top edge, but you feel free to use both if you like. Alright, well we've unpacked and sorted everything. Now it's time to assemble our awning. And the first thing that we would start to do is basically pull the plastic edge away. We have plastic on both sides of this film, so we just need to pull it back about 50 mil all the way around so that the rubber strip can slot on there. Okay, now we've started the assembly process of our awning. First thing that we want to do is take our little rubber edges here and put them onto the edges here. You can see I've already done the other pieces of awning. They're all covered up. This is the last strip that I have here to put on. They may be a little bit long, so you just need to trim them up with a pair of scissors or a Stanley knife. Just bring them down to edge. Don't be too concerned if they are a little bit short. That's okay. A few mil short is fine. What you don't want to have is any overhang like this little piece here or as you can see at the other end here, we have a little bit of overhang. All we need to do with this sort of thing is just pull it back to there, allow for a little bit of rubber here, and just trim that off like that. Not a big deal, and then we'll put that one on there. Straight onto the strip here, and we're all good. Okay, well, as we were saying with the assembly process, if you might come up a little bit short, just like this one here, no big deal. You can leave that be. That will hide inside the steel bracket here. It'll go inside this edge. You won't even know it was there. The next stage of our assembly process is to take our aluminium strips and place them on the edge here. Now, the easiest way to do that would be to stand it up on its edge. You take the aluminium piece here, get it started, take it all the way to the edge, and then just get yourself a rubber mallet and just tap along the edge. Don't need to apply too much pressure. You don't have to hit this hard. This is only a light piece of aluminium and plastic. And that's it. And you continue that same process with the other two aluminium pieces. Okay, now that we've assembled our awnings, we put our two aluminium sheets on our front piece, our two strips there, and we put our rear strip on the top sheet. Now, if you're doing this by yourself, this is probably the easiest way to go about this. You'll just slide the two pieces in together, locking them in nicely, make sure the rubber groove is going into the aluminium strip. Then with a rubber mallet, just give it a bit of a tap at one end, slowly working down to the other edge, and just working back as the edge slowly goes inside the aluminium strip. You don't want to hit it too hard. It is only aluminium and plastic. So once you've got that in and the rubber edge seems to be all hidden, that'll be done. We've assembled one of the end brackets here. This is probably the most difficult part of the assembly process. You may need an extra pair of hands to get this done, but persistence will get you through eventually. What we need to do is slide the awning in. To get it in, what we need to do is stand it up on its edge, and then take our bracket at the front edge here and feed it on, and eventually get it lined up. It is a little bit tricky, but if you lay it down on the front and apply some pressure just here, you can get the last piece to click in. Then it's just a matter of securing it in all the way along the edge and fixing it to your wall. It's all but finished at this point. Alright, these are the fittings supplied with the budget awning, polycarbonate awning. We've supplied 4 dynabolts for fixing to brick walls and such, and a couple of small screws there to do the final assembly of the awning to make sure it's nice and secure. Also a couple of little caps there just to cover up the heads of the dynabolts. The screws that we are talking about go into the end of the bracket here. We can show you the little holes in here where they go into. You get one at the front and one at the rear on each side of the awning. We recommend that you use a cordless drill to get these in, but if you don't have a cordless drill, a hand screwdriver will do the job fine. This isn't a lot of pressure. Excuse me, I've just dropped the screw there. I'll just pick that up and put it back in. And that's that one. And we do that same thing on both sides. Optional weather strip that we mentioned earlier. This is it here. When you're pulling the double-sided tape off, just be careful not to grab the whole thing because the tape will come off from the seal. And we'll just go to the furthest edge of the aluminium, put it on there, going close to the top edge so it doesn't pop out through the bottom, and just all the way along. It's a little bit longer than necessary, so you will have to trim off any excess. but this is the optional extra. Keep in mind, you don't have to use this. We do prefer to use some silicone on this top edge once the unit is installed. But it's perfectly fine to use this and the silicone. We wouldn't recommend using this strip by itself, but it can be used without any drama. And then we just trim the end off, and that's that. Press it down so it's nice and secure, and it's ready to mount to your wall. The unit is together now. After it's installed on the wall, we would pull off all of this plastic, both top and bottom. There's some also on the clear side here. That would happen after assembly. We're not actually going to install this unit. We're going to install an identical unit that we already have pre-made. So we're going to turn to that. Now, we're working with a Besser block wall here, which is a hollow wall. So rather than using our original Dyna bolts that we provided you, we alternatively can use a ramset plug and screw. We have one of these preset in the wall already. So we would start our assembly by first locating our first hole and drilling one hole into the wall so we could start with one side of our brackets. Okay, well, we've pre-drilled the wall with one of our holes, our first guide hole. We've attached the bracket only loosely. We don't want to do it up too tight because we still need to pivot the thing to get it up into its second position. Now from here, it's just simply a matter of grabbing the end, lifting it up until you've got it in the right position. Now you want to check this and make sure it's all nice and level before doing anything. We take our second hole, we would mark it here, pull it out of the way, drill the hole once again, insert our plug. We've already pre-done that, so right now it's just a matter of inserting the screw again and tightening it up. Let's get on the right side of this piece. Once that one's tight, we can then go over to the other side. Tighten that one up as well. Now we would just check to make sure that we've got the thing nice and straight and level. Once we've done that, we can then proceed to go on to the bottom of the bracket, drill the last two holes, one in here, one over here, insert our plugs and our screws, and it's all done. Once we've completed there, we just make sure it's all a little bit straight. Then we'd come to the top edge and place our silicone on top. As you can see, the bracket might go on first a little bit crooked. It's not a big deal. You can just eyeball this. You don't have to it doesn't have to be done perfectly. You just get the mallet, give it a light tap, if it looks straight, then just tighten it up again. Maybe give it another knock. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, we're on the final stage of our installation of our budget awning, polycarbonate awning here. We've installed our first two screws and secured them nice and tightly, made sure the brackets are nice and straight. Now it's time to drill our third and fourth hole. Once they're drilled, we would insert our ramset plug and our bolt and tighten them up nice and secure. At this point, the only thing left to do is to come up to the top edge along here and run some silicone along this back edge, stopping any water from coming through the back of the unit and running down your wall. Once it's installed and nice and tight, you can step back and have a look at it. You'll notice with the 1.5 awning, there appears to be somewhat of a dome shape to the top of the awning. That is perfectly normal. It helps for water runoff and for durability and strength. The 1.2 awning doesn't appear to have this same dome effect, but it is very common with the 1.5. These awnings come in both a clear and a dark tint, 1.2 and 1.5 in length, and the end brackets can be both black and silver. I hope this video has been helpful to you in installing your budget awning, polycarbonate awning. Any questions you may have, please feel free to contact Budget Awnings on our website.